Hey everybody, and welcome to the final What If ever. I cannot believe this is the final What If. Um, it's just been crazy. It's just been crazy. We had 99 videos of this series that I just enjoyed making before this, and now we're finally getting to the final one. So that's gonna be crazy. This is it's a little crazy to think about because I created this series I think 2 years ago. So if you go ahead and watch the older videos, I probably sound like a chipmunk, but whatever. Anyways, what if 100, aka the final what if, and yeah. So you might be wondering, what am I doing for the final what if? Why? Like there's been a lot of ideas out there that someone said, why not you combined all the what ifs ever made into one movie, which would probably be a few hours long, which I don't know if anyone would watch the entire thing. So I liked it, but I don't know if I would do it. It just take too much time, and I don't know if anyone would actually watch it. Another person said, "Why not you can like do every single what if matchup ever, and then like that though it's a long time to make that, and not only that, but it's gonna be a very long recording. I want to do something nice, short, and kind of like a nice, easy way to finish it off. Not necessarily because I'm lazy. I am lazy, but that's not the reason though. I just want to finish it off kind of the same way I started it. I started off with like I don't even know what the series is. I was like kind of young and I was like, what if I did this? What if Mario did beat Sonic? And it kind of escalated. It really did. And now look at here. We're at the 100th and the final what if. So for this video, I will be ranking my top 16 favorite matchups of all time for what if. I just want to finish it off easy, and I want to finish off with a good way to remember not only the past but recent what ifs. There's definitely been some within like the 90s. There's been a few in the 70s, I believe. Definitely within the first 10 custom. But anyways, it's just been crazy. So why not we get started with this? Starting crazy was number 16. We have Mr. Krabs versus Mr. Scrooge, which I believe this is within the 50th zone. If I am not mistaken, I'm pretty sure this is like 40, 50 something. I don't know. Anyways, though, oh, it's 39. All right. Anyways, yeah, this matchup isn't that bad, and I remember I don't know who commented it, but I generally remember seeing the comment and being like, I really hope this wins, and it won, and I got to make it, which I appreciate that. Some I really like it when the matchup I want to do wins because I enjoy making the would have 10 times more than I would before, but yeah. Number 15, I chose King Dies versus Oogie Boogie. Nothing too crazy. I think this is what if I think quite recent, like 75, yeah. Um it was just overall a fun day to make this. It just felt really nice and easy, and I just generally like the matchup a lot. So yeah, it was overall fun. Number 14, I chose Angry Birds versus Flappy Bird, which is number 72. So a little bit before the previous one, but yeah, I don't remember the situation because this was so far ago. Just remember really, really enjoying making it, and I remember like having a good time because I was talking to my friends at this time, and it was just overall a fun time making this one. And yeah, it was a good one. Number 13, I chose Gumball versus Mordecai, which is actually I think one of the most recent ones. Yeah, number 85. This one wasn't that bad. I like this one. I try not to repeat characters because, you know, it just there's a lot of characters I think deserve to be on What If, and there's a lot of characters I wish that were one on What If, and it's never got the opportunity to. Both Gumball and Mordecai have already appeared on What If before. Gumball was like within the first like 10 or so, and Mordecai was kind of recent at this point. He was against Woody Woodpecker, which I believe was in the 70s. So yeah, Mordecai have kind of already appeared at this point. So I was kind of icky about this one, but I overall really enjoyed making it, and yeah, it was overall fun. For number 12, I chose ScoobyDoo versus Kurge, which I am surprised it's number 87. This is one of those matchups I really thought it was going to be within like the first 20 because this matchup was going crazy around the CBB community. And I'm pretty sure some people did comment this down some early, but it just didn't win, which makes me surprised because this was overall a very like high matchup that a lot of people wanted to see. And I'm surprised it took that long for that matchup to happen. But yeah, I really like this one. It's just two fun characters, and it was I remember a lot from it. So yeah, number 11. Quite recently. This is not the most recent one on this list, but it's definitely up there at 93. We have Kai versus Raphael. Um, I don't know. This one was just one of those matchups that like I didn't really care for that much. I was like, it's kind of cool. They're both cool characters. I don't know. I don't, I'm not a big fan of either, but it's cool. And I just remember like finding out a lot of cool things about them, and I was just kind of glad that this matchup actually did happen. Um, but yeah, this was one of those matchups. I was like, gosh, that was a good one. That was a good one. Anyways, number 10, I chose Jeffy versus Poopy Baby. Okay, the matchup itself isn't great. It's number 96, by the way, but isn't great. But if you watch the video, I think this was probably the most fun I've ever had to make a what if. Like I was with my friends, and we were just having a great time. I remember laughing super hard when making this. So it's one of those recent memories that I feel like are just going to be passed on for a very long time. And this is the kind of what if that I generally like making because I enjoy myself. I enjoy the time to make it. I'm glad I'm able to make something that I can remember for a very long time. So yeah, number 9, chose Jonesy versus Steve. Now the overall matchup I do not like too much. It was by the way, it's number 86. A lot of 81s, like 80 what ifs, but the thing is Steve has already been on what if at this point. I think it was literally 82. Yeah, it was 82. And and so that means he literally appeared like 4 episodes after he appeared for his first time. And I was like really thinking like this was top comment by a long shot, I believe, from what I remember. And I was double checking myself. Do I really, really want to make this again, like Steve again? And I made it a little bit more interesting. I remember a lot from this one, and I just generally enjoyed this a lot. Surprisingly, but yeah, it was one of those matchups that you don't think you're gonna like that much, and then you just end up really liking it. So yeah. Number 8, Kirby versus Ditto, which is actually the most recent what if besides this one. To be honest, there's nothing too in particular about this one. I like both characters a lot, especially Kirby. Kirby's definitely up there on one of my favorite characters. And the matchup itself doesn't make too much sense. They're both small, pinkish purple colored creatures that copy other things. It's not too crazy of a matchup, but I just remember like this. I just remember to myself when I was making this. This is the final request. What if? And I was like, I got to make this good. I got to remember it in some way. If not, like it's not gonna be great, and I'm not gonna like it as much. And I tried my best to make this as fun as possible, and I just generally appreciated that one a lot more for that reason. Also, the reason why it's a little bit longer than the previous ones, because like like it was kind of like 4 to 5 minutes and 30 seconds for most of the 90 what ifs other than Jeffy versus Poopy Baby, that was like almost 10 minutes long. But this one you could tell I had a little bit more dedication to it because it was over 5 minutes, and yeah, it was overall fun to make that one. Number 7, Tabi Tabi. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. Tabi versus Dry Bowser, which was number 70. Like Flappy Bird versus Angry Birds, or Angry Bird or whatever. I don't remember too much about it. I just remember, doing something and enjoying while doing it. I think I was watching, like, I don't even know what I was doing, but I remember watching something and really like enjoying myself while making this and doing it. I also like the matchup a bit. Like, it doesn't make too much sense. For the most part, they're both skeleton characters, but Dry Bowser, I love him as a character. He's a pretty cool character. And Tabi, I mean, I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but he's probably one of the better Friday FNF characters I've done in the series. Although there is still one more, which I believe is the next one for number 6. Yeah. Which one is this? Number 62. Agoti versus Venom. This doesn't make too much sense. They're both kind of alien-like creatures, and that are both kind of have sharp teeth with white eyes that are scary. And I remember just having so much fun, not only recording it, but having so much fun making it. For the reason that I like both characters, especially Venom. I mean, obviously, that's kind of like my thing. I don't know if you noticed, but yeah. And I mean, for the NF, why am I F and F? Jeez, I cannot speak today. Um, it was overall okay. Like at this point in time, I think that's when like the series was most popping off. So I was like, you know what, this would be kind of a cool matchup to do. And like this was, I don't know if this was the first one. I believe Boyfriend was already on it. Yeah, for number 40. So I was kind of double checking myself if I really wanted to do this, and it just was one of those matchups I really enjoyed making. For number 5, I chose the Ninja Turtles versus Power Rangers. Now, I did say I was not going to try to use duplicates here, but technically the Ninja Turtles is a group, and Raphael was already on a lower character, I guess. But this was number 65. I don't remember too much about making it. I just remember having a good time recording, having an overall blast, just kind of seeing what I did there and all the things that I did. Even though I still sounded like a chipmunk, even though I was like a year ago. That's crazy though. It's just one of those matchups I really enjoyed as a matchup. Because a lot of these matchups, they're like, whatever. You got those matchups that make sense as matchups, like Homer Simpson versus Peter Griffin, and like Angry Birds for Slappy Birds. Both of those make sense as matchups. These ones, I mean, sure, it kind of makes sense, but it's one of those matchups that you kind of have to appreciate in order to like, which is one of those examples why I really do enjoy this one a lot. But yeah, for number 4, I picked King K. Rool versus King DDD, which is, I believe, number 34. Yeah, to be honest with you, this is just one of those what ifs that I kind of was like really, really icky about, because I think at this point in time, Hatman was doing episode 8 for his FBF, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do something original, and I don't know if I want to do this. But it turns out I really enjoyed making it, and I really enjoyed recording it. The only problem I had with it just overall felt like forever. I don't know why. I remember just being like, I need to get this done, and it just felt like one of those videos that you kind of had to rush. But even though it felt rushed in my opinion, it was still one of those videos that I can sit back and enjoy, other than the part that I sound like a chipmunk, and just kind of watch and be like, wow, I had garbage opinions back then. Anyways, let's move on to the number 3, which is, I believe, yes, Homer Simpson versus Peter Griffin. Or you could refer this as the first ever custom what if. Now, at this point in time, I was doing mainly what ifs based off already existing matchups, such as like what if Pikachu went against Groot, or what if SpongeBob beat Deadpool, or Black Panther lost to Sonic. I did those, and I just completely outdid the series, which I honestly, in my opinion, I think I should have stopped at 14, because I did what if Cyborg versus Terminator was episode 2, and then I did what if Terminator beat Cyborg, and that was 14. And then people were just commenting down so many different ideas that were necessarily not like in the series whatsoever, like this one. And I'm not even joking, I was going to finish at 14. 14 was going to be the final what if I was going to do. And then people were just repetitively commenting. I was like, gosh, people really do like this series. So I decided, why not I just do a few of these just for the funs of it. And Homer versus Peter being the first ever custom matchup. I cannot believe we went from there. That was, I think, I want to say 2 years ago. And oh my goodness, it's crazy, because this is the thing that started off this train ride to, now, I guess. But yeah, that's crazy in my opinion. Number 2, um, we have Wolverine versus Freddy Krueger, which is number 19. So pretty early as well. Nothing too crazy about this matchup. I just remember, this was one of the only like older matchups I remember making. Like first 20, okay, maybe first 30. I was like, I don't remember much of anything. I have this memory or that whatever memory. And yeah, Wolverine versus Freddy Krueger was one of those matchups I was really excited to make because I like both characters a lot. And I remember having a lot of good time making it. And you can see how short it is. It's definitely a little bit more rushed, but I appreciate it for what it the matchup is and how I did it. Um, Although I would change some things about it, it's still definitely up there. I don't know. I could switch 2 and 3 around. Like I definitely would put two, maybe under three or three under two. But yeah. And finally, we finish off with number one. My opinion, the best matchup of What If, and that is my opinion. Red Eminem versus Red Sour Patch Kid. And no, I'm not joking. No, I'm not trolling. This is, in my opinion, one of the best what ifs ever made. Okay, this is number 76, by the way. So it's kind of recent, so it's kind of that recent touch to it. Thing is, I just love every aspect to it. With what if, there's some things I will hate about it. Like, for example, I hate maybe the matchup, or maybe I hate, making it, or maybe I hated recording it. It doesn't matter. Like, I probably hated one thing about every single what if. And maybe it would be smaller, maybe it would be bigger. Who knows? Doesn't matter. This one is one of those matchups that I really can't hate on that much. Like, sure, the matchup itself is kind of funny. It's kind of goofy. It's kind of silly. Sure. But I like it as a matchup. It makes sense. It does make sense. To one of the biggest candy companies in the world versus one of the biggest sour candies in the world. It makes sense for what it is, and I just remember making a lot of jokes like, "Wow, this matchup is dumb. This matchup is doesn't work at all," and really enjoying myself making fun of the matchup. And I just remember having a good time doing that. And even though it's kind of like a dumb reason to hate or love the matchup, it just kind of brought me back like, wow, I really, really, actually really enjoyed the overall video, and I couldn't hate that much. Like looking back on it, I really don't think I hated that much about it. I mean, sure, the matchup itself doesn't really work for this, and that's probably the only thing I could say negative about this video, other than the fact that I sound like a chipmunk. But that's not necessarily the video's fault. But yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Yeah, this video is definitely a little bit of a longer one. I would like to finish it off with a kind of a good note, and just so everybody can go down memory lane. I guess some people started watching What If maybe early on. That's when What If was getting like 1,000 views per time. That was when a new concept was there, and then you got people joining 50s, maybe 60s, above. And I was like, you know what, this series has been really great. I really enjoyed making it, and I, even though some people said you milked it, or some people said you overdid it, or What If is dead, all those are true. I 100% agree with that. I did milk the series. It's not necessarily that I milked it because I was getting views, or milked it because people just kept commenting. I milked it because I enjoyed making it. I enjoyed people commenting down ideas. I enjoyed that I gained a fan base from creating such a small series just on Google Slides. Like, sure, they take 20 to 30 minutes, but that's not necessarily the making that really rushes it, because it's the overall recording that really makes me enjoy the series. Just overall explaining my reasoning and overall liking the matchups. And even though some matchups I'm not really appreciative of, I'm not going to really name drop any of them. There's still so many matchups that I generally like. And, in 2 years from now, like, I'm going to remember the series I created that hit 100 episodes. And I overall enjoyed every single one of them. Thank you guys so much for watching this series. This is the final time. See you guys hopefully soon.